I forgot to wash my mug for today, so I just grabbed a nondescript mug. So it doesn't. I'm not promoting anything else, but I'm also not promoting the show. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Tony. Thanks for not
You know,
selling that ad space to like the highest bidder.
exactly. You know, I thought neutral was the way to go, and then maybe next week I'll do the dishes.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
And I'm Tony.
And this week we're closing out Video Game Month with a video game adjacent movie called Pixels from 2015. Christopher Columbus directing.
Yeah.
I looked at all of his movies and he's a pretty good director.
Yeah, I mean he's fine. He's fine. He's got some good stuff. He's got some lackluster stuff. He's just kind of like he's a relatively dependable guy. I think if you give him the movie, you're gonna have a product.
Well, he set Harry Potter in motion, right? He did the first two.
Yeah, the two most boring Harry Potter movies.
Oh, are they? If you really go back and watch them, you're kind of like, okay.
They're just, and it's not really his fault because those kids can't act for shit at that age. Like they're just terrible kid actors. They grow up pretty decent.
Oh, hey! Oh, what's happening? Oh, there's a troll. I guess we should fight it.
But they focused a lot on the visuals of like the magic of it, which is all great. But in a 2.5 hour movie, at some point you're just like, I wish something would happen. It would be cool if we were over this magical nonsense. But the kids loved it. So, who am I to judge?
I think it's also one of those movies / franchises that, that first one, when you're in there, there's just some stuff that at the beginning that you're just, if you haven't read the books, you're kind of like, okay, this is good. This is, I mean, a complete ripoff of Neil Gaiman, but that's beside the point.
Is it besides the point?
Well,
maybe we'll talk about that off air because I don't even know what you're referring to. What Neil Gaiman book is Harry Potter a ripoff of?
Oh, Books of Magic. Yeah, no, he kind of...
Interesting, okay.
A lot of the stuff. I mean, certainly her sitting in her car writing it is fresh stuff, and who knows what she had ever seen amongst, what was going on, but it was the right thing for the right audience at the right time, and I mean, I'm not a fan of the books, but I'm a huge fan of the movies, so.
I don't know if I've ever met someone that's a fan of the movies and not a fan of the books. I'm not saying it's wrong or bad. It's just interesting.
Well, if you want my hot take on Harry Potter, like in the middle of our Pixels review.
I do. I kind of do right now.
I sat down to read, I think I've read the first 2 or 3 or 4 books. I think I finally sat down to read like the 4th book. And I'd started writing a little bit, and just the writing is terrible in those books. It's just terrible.
Well, it's YA, right? I mean, I try not to read YA as much as possible because I feel the same way. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I would not say I'd say these books are great for kids, but if you're really looking at them as good writing, there's just her use of language is very...
Well, have you read her adult books? I have not.
No,
I'm not in general, I'm not a fan, but I don't
think anyone that wants to keep their sanity. So with Pixels, I watched it on Hulu, and it was like a TBS version or a Fox movie version, so it was exactly an hour and a half. And it had commercials. So
interesting. So does that mean you missed parts, do you think?
So there probably were some jokes so you might bring up jokes in some little bits. And sometimes, and then it had commercials too. So, but there were only like maybe 4 or 5 commercial breaks, but there were other parts where it would be like zoop on a scene and you were like, oh, this is where it goes to commercial. And then it would just come back up on the next scene. And it didn't have a commercial there. So there was, there were some scenes in there where I was kind of like, I'm not sure what's going on here. So if I don't bring up a joke or something that you saw and you wanted to comment on.
I can't believe you watched this on TV. You watched it with well, Hulu does like the live TV subscription. So I think that you watched,
So it's kind of funny that way. So I might miss something. So I didn't see the hour and 42. I'm in at 1:30 hot, but there was only about 2 minutes of credits at the end. So I assume probably 5 or 6 minutes of credits. So I might be missing 3 to 5 minutes.
And those were the best 3 to 5 minutes of the movie,
good stuff.
Dan.
They cut all the good stuff. That's why it was a terrible movie.
Too hot for TV, as they say.
Yeah. So yeah, Christopher Columbus. I thought the directing was fine, and of course, my main issue is going to be Adam Sandler and the Adam Sandler relationship.
That is interesting, Dan, because my main problem is everything but that. I mean, we'll get into it more, but as like a cliff notes to how I felt about this movie, Peter Dinklage, woof. What the fuck are you doing, Dinklage? Josh Gad should never be in a movie. I've finally decided I just don't like him. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's charming. I don't think he's funny. If he's not a melting, adorable snowman, I don't care about him. He should not be in the movie. And then, Kevin James doesn't do much in the movie, which is fine. So he doesn't ruin the movie at all. It's great. He's, in the periphery. But those two characters I need out of this film 100%. And then the rest is great.
See, I'd go the opposite way. The only things I enjoyed about this movie was some of the Peter Dinklage stuff and some of the Josh Gad stuff.
We'll have to talk about the Josh Gad. Peter Dinklage had some really great moments, but then he had moments where I was like, you're not even being a human. Like the cadence of which he was speaking wasn't, I don't know. It was all weird.
You've seen the whatchamacallit movie about the Donkey Kong feud,
yes,
thing, right?
Yeah,
You've seen that. And so he was aping what's his name, whatever the dude in that movie is.
Yeah.
So that's where he started. He started at Billy, what's his name?
Yeah.
Okay, so we start off with the kid flashback, Cheap Trick, kids riding the bike. They go to the Electric Dreams factory, and then Sandler's kid character just walks in there and instantly knows all the patterns. Like, not even having played the game, supposedly, he sort of knows the patterns.
Well, he watched one person play, and he's like, oh, I get it. Because he's a genius. He's a genius. He went to MIT, Dan. So, he's a genius.
That was a joke that I did not need to have happen 2 or 3 times in my life.
They really hammered that home. Good for them for sticking with it. Never landed once. But hey, that's okay.
So Kevin James' child character's Master of the Claw Machine, which we have one callback to way later in the movie for like no reason.
I'm just gonna say, guys, not worth it. It wasn't good enough to set that up.
The time and energy it took to set up that shot and get that big crane machine in there for this one kind of worthless joke. So we're sort of set up that. So we set up that he becomes a master with no work, no cost, nothing, and then boom, 1982 video game championship.
Yeah.
And so they waltz in there, and we see Josh Gad Jr. and he's conspiracy kid,
best kid actor in the movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Is mini Josh Gad, in my opinion. The other kids, I could just take or leave them, but he was fun.
Yeah, I gave none of them any thought. And then, he's a conspiracy kid. So, like, there's a lot of conspiracy jokes. I don't think any of them ever landed.
No, as a kid or an adult.
We're gonna have this through line. And we will make sure none of the jokes land. And they got away with it.
You got to be consistent with your misses.
So here comes Eddie Plant / Fire Blaster / Peter Dinklage, 2 smoking hot girls in like leather pants walking behind him, and he's like doing his thing.
Yeah, he's doing something. They're all doing something.
He's got the hair, and he's got the mullet, and he's wearing, torn off.
Visually, I enjoy this character a lot, all the way through. I think, they did a great job there.
And so Dan Aykroyd is the host. We set up Guinness World Records.
And what a weird waste of Dan Aykroyd. How much does he cost nowadays, you think? Because he
I don't
doesn't
think
do
they
anything. He doesn't
Do you
even.
think they spent money on him, or do you think he
I don't
just
know.
kind of?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I don't know. Listen, I don't know how
I don't know.
the insider baseball works because I'm not on the inside. I am very far on the. I'm like the nosebleeds, and I'm like, hey guys, but I just what a weird. You don't need. He doesn't do any jokes. He doesn't
No,
really deliver anything special. Like,
no.
why is Dan Aykroyd in this movie?
I mean, yeah, it is kind of a throwaway cameo that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but
so we have a tie, and so one guy wins 2, and the other guy wins 2, and so they're doing Donkey Kong. They're on the stage, they're playing, and Sandler's character is jacking up the points, and then
just jacking them up.
Fire Blaster turns over to him and says, at the higher levels, the patterns don't work anymore. And then Sandler's character just sort of loses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We don't. And then
he really got in his head with that one, He made him question all of his life choices.
And so he walks out and sort of maybe he said, I'm a loser. I don't even know what he said. He just, there was no emotions even from the kid. The kid's just kind of it almost feels like a, eh.
Well, that's how it should have been. So that makes perfect sense because the kid spent no time or effort getting into this. It's not like it's something he dreamed of for years and years. It was just like, oh, this is something I can do. Let's go see what this is all about. And then he lost. And somehow that affects the entire course of his life moving forward.
And that would have been the thing is if you really wanted to make it a thing, then have that kid have a freaking breakdown. And have him go home to shame, give us some shame that this character goes through and maybe we'll feel something, but they don't even give us anything. And so from the setup, we don't buy it. We don't buy that he's this broken character.
100%. Yeah.
And he isn't really he isn't even really a broken character.
Well, in general, Adam Sandler characters aren't broken characters. They're characters in arrested development at some point where they're still juvenile, but they're fine. They can totally function in society for the most part, and then they win always. That's kind of the Adam Sandler, the trajectory of the character. He's like, oh, I'm kind of childish, but also very capable of doing everything I need to do. It's good. It's great. I enjoy it.
Wait, you like that? You think that's a good way to make movies?
No, it's not like I think that it's a good way to make movies, but I don't care. I'm fine with it.
I don't care.
I'm fine with it.
So you enjoy what his character and he does in this movie? You say you enjoyed it?
He's my favorite part of the movie. I thoroughly enjoy Adam Sandler. This is a decent Adam Sandler joint, in my opinion. That's the cliff notes. Everyone around Adam is bad. He's fine. He's just doing classic Sandler. Not classic. Let me take that back. He's doing mid-level Sandler, which is kind of where he lives now. He's
doing classic midlife. What was the one where he played the weird twins, Jude and Judy? What did he play? He played I
don't remember the brother sister. I don't remember what their names were. I never saw it, and I never will.
Oh.
Unless you do it for this show.
Yes, you will. We're going there this next year. We're not getting through this year without going there.
I don't want to see that movie.
We're going to do the whole Adam and Sandler and Josh Gad collection.
I feel like this is a precursor to the Netflix movies. This is a good window into the level of quality you'll get on the Netflix movies, which I enjoy almost all of them. I don't think they're great. I'm not like, oh my God, this movie is so good. This is prime time Sandler, Happy Gilmore. It's just well, yeah, that was a decent romp for an hour and a half. I don't mind.
So now we have Kevin James and Sandler arguing about hot girls, who's the hottest girl, because they were arguing about hot girls when they were kids. So they're still arguing about hot girls. Yeah. And then we pan back to find out that Kevin James is now President of the United States.
I almost turned it off. I'm 100% serious. Had we not been watching it for this show, The second they say that he's the president of the United States, movie's off. I don't give a shit. That's no, I just don't buy it. I will never buy that ever in a million years.
And then I wrote, they have a meeting. Everyone hates him. I don't remember what the meeting was.
Of course I don't remember either, but he's a dumb. How did he become president, Dan? The guy is an idiot, apparently at least somewhat illiterate from what they show. On some level, he cannot read.
No,
he's
can't
just
read books.
How is he the president?
I don't know. And they don't even give it. It's not that the people love him. It's not that this. It's not that that. It's like everyone thinks he's a bozo, and he's still president.
Yep. Doesn't make any sense.
So now we go to Guam, and there's an attack on Guam, which I don't even remember what the ships were. We saw the pixels, which were kind of good looking, but we didn't really see gameplay in action, which is kind of like what is, in my opinion, good about this movie is gameplay in action in the real world.
Yeah, when they do like Centipede, when they get to Centipede, that's a great scene.
Great scene.
Yeah.
Well, visually, the 3D handling of Centipede is great.
All right, we'll get there.
Scene?
I think we're going to argue over that.
Oh,
but
you bet we're going to argue.
Oh, you bet we're going to argue.
So we have this sort of Guam. So we've set up this whole thing, sort of, barely. So now we find that Adam Sandler drives around in a van, and he's the nerd brigade. And so he's going to this house to set up all their stuff. And here's this, let's call him Convenient Kid. He's a kid that conveniently conveys information in 3 or 4 scenes in this movie and is in locations he should never be.
True.
And then he's like maybe exposition kid, because he is just written in by someone to give exposition and to move the plot forward. You know, he's kind of like, at some point he'll just sort of say, you know, you should fuck my mom because she wants to be fucked by you, you know, and then that happens.
Well, he probably wouldn't say the second part. It's probably just the first part, and then she's open to anyone at this point because she's broken. So this is your chance, Adam. Get in there if you can, bud. But I will say that the kid, he delivers it well. Yeah, like I never get mad that he's doing it. I'm not like, oh my god, this fucking kid again. I'm just like, okay, cool. Yeah. Tell me everything I need to know. Catch me up, bud.
You're right. I hate the writer for writing what he says, but this kid delivers the exposition in a not like in Tenet where you want to hit the people giving exposition, where you're like, this person should be put in a gulag because they should not be talking. Immediate gulag. So he sets up, his mom's having a divorce, Pilates instructor. We hear that many times. Her name is Cinnamon, not with a C, but with an S. She's like 19 years old.
But we never meet her, Dan? Are you kidding me?
If you're going to promise me someone that hot,
you have to deliver. I have to see this person. I was pretty mad. You can't spend that much time talking about a person you're never going to see or interact with.
That's really
ridiculous.
True, that is screenwriting 101. You spent at least 3 scenes, maybe 4 scenes talking. Probably 4 scenes you've brought this woman.
A bunch. Way too many. So
then, what's her name? Bridget? Is that Bridget Moynihan? Is that who that is?
That sounds right. She's Julia from Mission Impossible. That's how I know.
Okay. Sure.
Oh, Dan, you don't watch the Mission Impossible franchise?
No.
It's the best franchise ever made.
So
continue.
She walks in and she's smoking hot.
Yes. Yeah, she's beautiful.
You know, Adam Sandler with weird moley bumps on his face, and she's just like, oh, you know, I mean, it's not like she's like a 19-year-old or something. She's like age appropriate to him.
Yeah.
But you know,
way out of his league.
Maybe minus 10 years of him, but yeah, way out of his league.
You think so? I mean, I don't know. I feel like he probably hasn't aged super gracefully, so it's hard to tell.
That's true. They could be the same age, and age is hitting him in the face and like just making her more beautiful. That could be a thing. So now we kind of go back and forth between them having their thing and the base being attacked, right? Is that right? Yeah. Okay, yep. I'm going to make sure that this is just my weird edited thing. So So the attack starts to happen. What was this attack? Attack QRF.
This is
It was Paris. No, India. It's the Taj Mahal. That's what it is.
Okay. Wait, was it? Because isn't the Taj Mahal the one that they warned Kevin James about, and then Kevin James like, don't worry about it, or was that? You know what? I don't know.
No, it's Taj Mahal because it's the second loss. Because
this is the one where the kid's taking the picture.
Yeah, the kids are taking the pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the Taj Mahal gets eaten, and then the kid gets taken. I think the kid that takes the picture gets taken, so he's the trophy.
The trophy, yeah.
Which is
weird because it seems like when they send us a trophy, it's like an outcast from their society. But then when they take a trophy, it's just who's ever convenient. I don't know. Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
We're going to talk about the times at which they talk about the rules as if it's a thing that someone knows the rules or that they're somehow transmitted to them, when usually they're just sort of, here's coordinates and it's game on.
Yeah.
Which is, it's one of the really stupid things. So the kid grills Sandler, mom's interested, has to sign a work order. He goes in there. She's in her closet crying and drinking. He goes into her closet, which is
huge violation of privacy.
This closet is so perfectly lit. It's insane. It's like,
it's a great walk-in closet. I'm very jealous.
Yeah,
my closet's great. Like super cramped. I would love to have that space. But my only problem is that he just says, "Hey, I'm coming in." He doesn't like. They've spoken 4 lines to each other, and he's like, "I'm coming into the closet," and just goes in.
There's no consent.
No, not at all.
No,
get out of my closet, Adam Sandler.
And so within this immediate thing, she immediately at some point touches him.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, you want to talk about?" And she's like, "No," and then she's like, "Yes, I do," and like goes in for like a hug almost. And I was like, "Whoa, she's unstable."
So then we go back to the attack, and they say something about activating the QRF. Do you remember that?
I don't. Probably because even now that you're saying it, I don't understand what that means.
Neither do I. Probably something that was in the script and then got cut out.
Great.
Or it was cut out in my TBS version.
Should we talk about the QRF? No? Just say it. Don't worry about it.
Just leave that line in there. No one except Dan Goodsell will notice it.
It's just technical jargon. They'll buy it.
So now we're back in the closet. We're doing cinnamon jokes. We're drinking. And she's giving him these, like, I'm falling in love with you eyes. And he goes in for the kiss. And then she rebuffs him.
Too soon, man.
And then he starts treating her like a dick. He starts calling her a snob. Like her rebuffing his unwanted advance is a problem with her.
With her. That's right, because she's a snob. Because if he was a rich, beautiful man, which he's neither of those things, then she'd want to kiss him. And then apparently she agrees. And maybe she would. I don't know. But guess what? That's because that person is desirable. Unlike you, Adam Sandler. That doesn't make her a slob. It makes you a shitty human being.
That's exactly it. It's not a her thing. It's a you thing.
That's
like
right.
if you, it's like, I don't think I can just walk up to Christy Brinkley and like have her fall in love with me. She's in love with Billy Joel.
Yeah. And you don't want to mess with Billy Joel. That he's on another level, man. Knock you out.
So he gets a call from the White House. Get over here. And so she's also gotten a call from the White House. So they're both driving to the White House at the same time because as a twist of fate, they're going to be thrown into this whole adventure together.
Yeah. You didn't like that part? I thought that this was cute.
I mean, is it something that is forgivable in a script that is good? Sure. But in this thing where he's like continuing to just be like nasty and weird, and he calls her the stalker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. So, Dan, maybe it's because you don't realize that the best way to kind of break down someone who's out of your league is to make them feel bad about themselves. You lower them to your level as opposed to raising yourself up to their level. It's all the mind games, Dan.
So it's the key to a relationship is setting up the abuse before you're even in the relationship.
Exactly.
So then
there's no surprises.
Because every relationship should be built on a proper platform of abuse. Starts with the abuse, then comes the love. Good. I knew we were going to figure out relationships today.
Thank you, Adam Sandler.
So, okay. So Galaga was the one that attacked.
Quick question:
India.
Do you say it Galaga, or did you just say it because you read it?
Galaga or Galaga?
I believe it's Galaga. I mean, I don't know.
I think probably because we had a place called Galanga that I said Galaga.
Galanga. Where's that? Yeah. I want to go.
You don't remember where it is, even though we've eaten there.
Is that which one is that?
Is that the one next to Fatburger?
Closed?
Next to Fatburger.
Okay, got it.
It's like
got
fusion.
it. That's the one with like the patio, right?
Yeah.
The patio out back. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Good
a fun
job
place.
Remembering a name, Tony.
Great pineapple fried rice, guys. Now, see, I'm plugging for them. They're good.
There it is. Keep them in business. Okay, so they're walking. Like they walk through all this security, and both of them still don't believe that the other should be there. And you're kind of like, this is the White House.
When she's like, the line where she's like, I can't believe they let you in here. It's like, well, then you probably should, because if he wasn't supposed to be there, they wouldn't let him in. It's just not a thing. You can't just walk into the White House. I've tried.
Unless you have a Trump flag.
Oh boy.
Yeah, too early. So Kevin James imparts that they were attacked by Galaga, whatever. Then we go to the Situation Room, and there's all these generals, and then we have poor Brian Cox, who...
Oh no, that's how you felt about it? I was like, thank God Brian Cox is in this movie, because he is the best part. He says some great lines in this movie, because I think a big part of him doesn't want to be in the movie.
No,
so he has
smartly
this.
So
he has this like layer of real anger and like vitriol that he spits with each line, and I just love it. It's great. But
the lines are corny and stupid. They're all like,
yes.
Let's just bomb them to death back to the Stone Age. They're like all just these. He's a walking cliche, but he's like a real actor having to speak walking cliche lines.
And that's why it works for me, because he's saying the lines, but he's also like saying them at his own lines. To me, like, you know what I mean? There's like a level of like depth.
So it's
to
that
it.
Meta. So
yes,
he's acting so hard, he's acting counter to what the movie wants.
Exactly.
Even
100%.
though he's doing exactly what the movie wants.
But he's just too good. If somebody else was giving those lines that wasn't Brian Cox, they would be so forgettable. They'd just be like, okay, this is stupid. But when he delivers them with such like angst, and I don't know. I loved it. I thought he was great.
So Sandler sort of gives his 2 cents, and then they all poo-poo him, and then he just leaves kind of in a huff.
Well, very slowly. I mean, he overstays his welcome by like 3 minutes.
Hopefully those are the 3 minutes that were cut out in the version.
That's why we feel differently. Got it.
So we get back there, and he drives away in his geek van, nerd van, and then Josh Gad is in his van, and then Sandler like punches him in the face, and he flies out the back of the van into the street.
Yep. Now I blame this on Josh Gad.
What, his ability to like be punched and roll out into the street?
That's like right. Something. The rest of the movie has been so good up to this point, and then he comes in and he just does something stupid.
So now they're on the city streets in front of the White House, like having
for like 7 minutes, and there's no cars, nobody's honking, nobody's driving around them. It's just totally fine.
And it's like not late at night or anything. It's not like he's there at 2:00 in the morning. It's just like, yeah, I'm sure no one lives in Washington, D.C. Weird shit like this happens constantly on the streets.
Does it?
One funny thing I liked was that Josh Gad's character had chloroform on him because he was going to chloroform.
And then he goes, "Is that what that says?" which is he also illiterate? I don't understand.
See, Tony, that's a joke. That's an actual joke, and that was a funny joke.
Was it?
Is that what that says? I mean, it can be construed as a funny joke.
Sure.
Then he does a bunch of Zapruder film stuff, and you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
At what point do we get...
Now we're going to go to Josh Gad's basement.
Okay, cool. We're almost to one of my favorite nods of the film.
Okay, so now we're in his conspiracy lair, and he's got conspiracy stuff everywhere, and he knows everything because he knew that the attack happened because his feed.
Well, because he's got a friend that said something, and then he hacked into the government. I don't know. He's talented. He does a lot of stuff. That's what we're supposed to get.
Once again, it's information that just floats out of the ether through a character that they put there at the right time to float information out of an ether.
That's right.
And so he still lives with his grandma. Then the grandma says something, and then he has a yelling fit against the grandma, which I loved.
You loved? I thought it was so bad. It's terrible. This is... I mean, it's basically... Well,
it's a different character. It's a different character.
It's a different character, but it's also a character that he shouldn't play because it wasn't good. And here's my thing. It happens again in the movie with Brian Cox.
My other favorite part of the movie.
And it's so good. Brian
Cox, you
liked
liked it there. Okay.
I thought it crushed it. I just didn't think Josh... I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think maybe I just don't like him. I think...
well,
I don't know.
The thing is he goes from being this like meek thing to being like, bah! And I think it's sort of like your Brian Cox note where it's like, it's him sort of raging against the terribleness of this script, where he's all mousy and nothing. And then when he gets something to actually be emotional about, like screaming at his grandma to shut up, he just goes times 20. He's at a 20.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, that's
I don't know.
true.
It's funny that you like Brian Cox doing his 20 and I like Josh Gad doing his 20.
That is weird, yeah.
And
maybe it's because I don't like him. But it reminds me of the relationship, because I've been watching Big Bang Theory, just so everyone knows. But one of the characters, Howard, and his mother, who's an off-screen presence, has that same relationship. And I just feel like they handle it better. He does it as like a ramp up as opposed to like I'm here, and now I'm here. There's like a and there's a nice build to it, and I don't know. I felt it was missing something. I don't know.
Well,
it's fine.
It wasn't it all goes back to King of Comedy, him living down there and his it's also everything is sort of a take on that initial one, which is handled perfectly in a perfect movie. I mean, Josh Gad's character in everything else in this movie, other than these two outbursts, is worthless and useless and causes pain. But that because it went to a 20 on a dime, I laughed because I was surprised. I did not expect this character to do that, and when he did it, I'm like, okay, something.
Yay, something.
So so we go back and we remembered that they made a VHS tape of the championship and they shot it out into space.
Yeah.
So that's the whole sort of impetus for everything. And so Josh Gad's character has downloaded this thing that they've sent, and he's found it on TV. And so we basically get the rules that there's going to be a total of 5 challenges, and we've got to win 3, and we've already lost 2. So we have to win all the other challenges, even though we don't, because we changed the rules in the middle of this thing for no reason.
But I mean, that definitely happens. But we've skated over my favorite part of the movie, Dan, which is the VHS. They interrupted a broadcast of One Tree Hill, which Josh Gad was recording, and I was like, now that's a joke. That's a great joke. One Tree Hill, one of the classic shows of our generation. Really good stuff.
And he brings it up before that he's catching up on it, but why is there some sort of deeper humor to that I should know? Like
only
he was
that
on that
One
show?
Tree Hill is a show that if you watch it, people make fun of you, and so of course this nerdy nebbish guy watches One Tree Hill because it's
And you're talking about yourself.
Correct. Yes, because I love One Tree Hill. Great show. Fantastic.
That's why you're so resentful of Josh Gad, is because you see yourself in him.
No, I do not. And that's the problem, Dan. Okay, how about that?
Oh, wait, no, India hasn't lost yet. India loses here late, is coming. Oh, yeah. This is when we have the second attack. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
3 lives, 2 lives left. Yes, so in 15 hours, they're going to be attacked. This is their declaration of war. Need to warn India. And I wrote, India loses.
Because Kevin James is like, nah, I'm not going to tell them.
Yeah.
Because they run to Kevin James and they show him all this and they're like, this is the next attack. And he's like, nah, I don't think so. I think it's fine.
And then it goes wrong. So, because Galaga must have been the first attack. Yeah, because they had video of it, and then he watched the pattern. And he's like, no, this is the early pattern, not the revised 1985.
Oh, right,
pattern.
yeah, the machines were, yeah, you're right, sent back and recoded. Yep.
At some point, which might all be true. So
I bet it is.
Yeah, so now we're back, and we're at the lab. I think we're at the lab where we're going to sort out how we're going to fight the aliens. Somehow we've made a lab. We've invested, we've got 20 guys to help us.
Well, Dan, I mean, I don't know if you're aware of this, but America is the best. So, I mean, we're on that shit lickety split. You know what I mean?
And to save the world, we're going to have we got 20 guys. We're going to invest 20 full guys. And
I mean, somehow, if you need more than 20, you're doing something wrong. That's the way I look at it.
That makes Sandler makes his slut-seeking missile joke in here somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
His love interest lady, whose name I can't remember in the movie,
Cinnamon,
the doctor. I don't know. The lady, woman? the sergeant lady, whatever. She said she made a joke to her kid, and the kid divulged that information that the mom wanted to build a slut-seeking missile, so he just brings it up to ruffle some feathers to remind her that she's not good enough to hold a husband.
Got it.
You gotta drag her down, Dan. Drag her down.
Sandler makes a General Zod joke about Brian Cox,
which I laughed at.
And then Josh Gad goes off on the Marines about how they've got to be good enough.
I just didn't like it.
I thought you liked that.
No, I like it when Brian Cox does this later to his wife. So Brian Cox also has a moment where he's just doing his thing and his wife says something off screen and then he just screams at her. He's like, can you shut your mouth for 1 minute? Or something like that. And it's amazing.
I think that part might have got edited out of the movie.
I understand. Probably because that's spousal abuse. So yeah. I get it.
So you didn't like Josh Gad going off?
No. I never like Gad doing it. I just don't buy it. I whatever reason, I don't buy it.
And, when someone's going at a 10 like that, the jokes land better. He does some Magic Mike jokes in there.
Yeah.
They're funny. I
agree with that. Jokes. If we were in that situation in real life, he would have only talked for about 3 seconds before someone sat him down and was like, hey, maybe you're not allowed to do this.
They wouldn't listen to him for 1 second. It's really stupid.
Yeah.
So, I forgot to mention this. Moynihan's stupid kid is there.
Because she couldn't find a babysitter, Dan. They explain it.
You mean... See, the Dan Goodsell way of approaching things is I say, you can always write a line in there that can account for anything.
That's right, and they did it.
No!
They did it. Yes, they did. They said, I can't find a babysitter, so the kid's here. I'm on board. I buy it.
I rephrase that. You can do that. It's really stupid. But why, Tony, why is that kid there? Tell me why they put that kid there.
I just told you she couldn't find a babysitter.
No. Plot-wise, why is that kid there?
I don't even remember what he does in this scene.
He's there to be impressed by Adam Sandler because no one else is impressed by Adam Sandler.
Oh, I'm impressed. I love the speech he gives.
You demand, because they keep cutting to the kid sitting over there thumbs up, you're doing so good.
He was doing good. I love this speech, Dan. It's a good speech. Because, he belittles himself a little bit, but also lets them know that he knows his shit. Great speech.
Then we have a really stupid thing where there's all these arcade machines and they're teaching the soldiers how to play.
The patterns. You're teaching the patterns.
It's really stupid. Then we have the weirdest scene in the whole movie, which is Kevin James and his wife decorating a cake.
Yeah, okay. I didn't understand anything with the first lady, because earlier in the movie, didn't they set it up that she hates him? Like, I could have sworn that when they were talking in the beginning, Adam and Kevin, about like, oh, hot girls, and then they talked about like how Kevin James was married to a woman that hates him.
They could have said that.
Thought, but then that never happens. And then they're like, I guess I'm assuming that that's like a fake. They're having fun, but I don't know, man. I didn't get it.
I'm sure. Well, probably there was a thing where they were having trouble, and so then this cake thing was a way for them to have some emotional time together and try to fall back in love. But that whole plot was jettisoned. But we're left with this terrible scene and a terrible line earlier in the movie, which just like the QRF, where we're like, QR, what the fudge is that? We have no idea. And of course, then later on, the news has the footage of the cake scene and just plays it to show what an idiot Kevin James is.
Yeah, because the world's in danger, and what's he doing? Just playing cake boss with his lady.
But we don't set up that he's not doing his work. We just have this random scene
because he is actually. We see him doing it a bunch. Like he's there at all of these secret meetings. I don't know, man. The whole Kevin James plot just lifts right out of this movie.
Yes, it does. So now we're in London. The U.S. military's in big trucks in London. These same guys have somehow gotten to London with the guns and all this stuff, and they're ready to go. And then we have poor Sean Bean.
You feel bad for all these people. I get so excited. Sean Bean's on screen. I'm like, yes, so good. Because these people are great. Sean Bean, A+, man.
But his A+ of like, there's no reason why you're here. You're going to get to make a beer commercial joke, and you're going to get to yell at some people, and that's
we're going to give you $500,000. And I quote, "You walking wiener coat." 10 out of 10, Dan. Such a good joke. I loved it. Sean Bean.
And somehow he's in charge, which of course makes no sense.
Who's in charge? Sean Bean?
Sean Bean. He's telling everyone what to do.
Yeah, they're in London, right? So like you're on his jurisdiction. That's how cops work. So
James is off with the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister's like getting weirdly sexual with him. It's just like,
and then he calls her ugly. Like I don't.
Ugly.
Yes, I don't.
Weird.
I don't have a clue what's happening here. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's super weird.
So here we go. Centipede starts loading, and first we load the mushrooms, and then the centipede starts coming down, and it's 3D, so it's really cool. It's bouncing all over the place. And now, Tony, I'm going to ask you a question about military guys.
All right, fire it off.
Okay. Do military guys know how to shoot guns?
Yes, it's one of the things you train for in the military.
So if I give a military guy a gun and I say, shoot the thing, they're going to shoot the thing, right?
Well, they were shooting some of the things, but in the body, because he said shoot the head. No. Otherwise it splits.
If you look at the special effects, their shots are going in every direction. Just from the beginning, they're one of the guys is standing on the ground, just like shooting into the soccer players, probably.
Just murdering people.
He wasn't doing that, but you're just like, actually kind of act. If you want, see what's the whole idea of this movie is that he knows the patterns.
The patterns, yes.
So. It'd be one thing if they were trying to shoot it and they kept hitting the tail and whatever, and then he finally grabs one of the guns and is all like, you have to be smarter than them. But really, the two of them just sort of take the guns and then just do what these guys should be doing.
Yes.
And the other thing is he's a guy that's used to jerking a joystick, literally. he's going to now be proficient in shooting a gun?
Jerking a joystick. Listen, Dan.
There is no gun in Centipede. There is a joystick in Centipede. Wait, is there? No, there's a trackball.
Correct. That is correct. Yeah. I sort of agree with you. But then I was like, you know what? There's also like games like Time Crisis or other games where you use a light gun. Well, no.
1982 Time Crisis, because we really predicate that he only played games like in 1982.
I know, but I bought this one more than I buy them driving cars later, if that helps.
That also helps.
Because one, to me, that one was the one that I was like, why are they even in the cars? They're not stunt drivers. They're like, I imagine Adam Sandler drives like 25 miles per hour all the time. So that was the one I had a problem with.
So he basically jumps in. He jumps in and finishes it up really quick. Then level 2 comes in. And then, Josh Gad comes in for level 2. And then it's over. They have to defeat 2 levels of Centipede.
There's that funny bit where Sean Bean and that other guy are hugging each other. And then
Brian Cox is like, they're afraid because they're shitting their pants.
Yeah, my favorite 2 characters of the movie hug each other and scream, and then Adam says a really cool line, "You can let go of each other now." Like great stuff. This is a great scene.
It's terrible. It's visually very pretty. Very pretty.
There's a lot of great visuals in this movie.
Yeah,
like they spent some money on that CGI.
And then we're at a bar, and then everybody's cool. Everybody's like, "You're all right. We're all friends. Ooh, ha! We've got to do this together. Ooh."
And then the president starts slamming like a whole jug of beer, a whole pitcher of beer.
I can't drink beer because I'm president. Ha ha! I'm drinking beer because I don't care.
Look. There are so many cell phones in this place that are definitely recording him getting slosh. What an idiot.
Okay, so now we're back in the States, and they have to go recruit Fire Blaster from jail. And there's just tons and tons of jokes, and we have a big negotiation with him, because he wants, what does he want? The first thing is really dumb, and then he wants to have sex with Martha Stewart and Serena Williams, then he wants an island, then he wants a helicopter.
In the White House, right? In the Lincoln bedroom.
In the White House, yeah. Then we call back to that later too.
Yep, we sure do. We give it to him.
But I liked the Fire Blaster character when he comes out.
Yeah, I just didn't.
Just like, I'm an asshole.
I'm fine with that, and Peter Dinklage plays an asshole with the best of them. I just didn't buy this weird cadence of talking that he would do. He would emphasize weird words, and there just wasn't a pattern. I don't know. I didn't like it. It felt like somebody doing a character to me.
Well, it's just a character. And I like when he pulls out the reading glasses for his demands.
I see. That's a bit that I enjoy. There are bits that I enjoy from Dinklage, and in a little bit we'll get to my favorite Dinklage line. But I just, in general, the base character is what I had a problem with.
So basically, it's this whole bargaining scene where it's just a bunch of jokes about what he wants, and he just does his thing. And, he chews up the scenery. There's a Donut joke in there, which I like that joke.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Donut. And that's basically the bargain scene, and then he's in.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in.
And I don't know what he's getting. It doesn't really matter.
He's getting freedom, for sure, they said. Yes. I think we can get you out of here.
Yeah.
The classic.
So now we're in New York City. Somehow we've made suits for them that have like arcade logos and stuff.
Yeah, I'm into it. I want one.
They really try and make this arcader a thing like a Ghostbuster. Like if we keep saying arcader, it'll be like a Ghostbuster.
Exactly.
And the thing is, no, it never will, because Ghostbusters, good movie. This movie, terrible movie.
I don't know if I agree with either of those, if I'm being honest.
You don't like Ghostbusters?
I like Bill Murray in Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is fine to me. We've talked about this, and we'll fight about it someday. But
Tony will say he loves Adam Sandler's made-for-Netflix movies, and he say Ghostbusters not a good movie.
I did okay. Ho.
Wow.
I didn't say it's not a good.
Wow.
You said I don't think it's a great movie. I think Bill Murray is great in it.
Okay.
But in general, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I personally enjoyed the remake, the reboot.
Oh yeah, we're definitely doing that this year.
I know. We've
And
talked
I am going to
eviscerate you.
You're gonna poo standing up after that. Oh my god. Okay, so
that means.
So we know that the next game is Pac-Man. Now, and so we've got these 3 Mini Coopers, which are in the colors, and they're going to be the ghosts. Once again, why this movie does not work is if these aliens are watching us play the games, you can't switch out the good guy for the bad guy. You just can't do that.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
So we have to play Pac-Man.
Yes, correct. Adam Sandler needs to be Pac-Man, and that's it. That's what needs to happen. But it's not what happens because they have more than one person, Dan. They need to figure out a way to get 3 people to be able to play this game.
And wait till the end of the movie where they try and figure out what to do with like 6 people, and it just gets even dumber. So the creator of Pac-Man is their 4th guy, so it's Fire Blaster, Josh Gad, creator of Pac-Man, and Sandler's stupid character. And then Bridget Moynihan leans in his car and
wait, hold on. We skated past my favorite line. My favorite line is when they first meet the creator of Pac-Man, and Peter Dinklage says, "I made your game my bitch." That line got me rolling on the floor for whatever reason. I was just like, "What a fucking nerdy thing to say," but it was awesome. So I really enjoyed that.
That was funny.
And so then on the flip side of that, Dan, in that same scene, Josh Gad speaks gibberish Japanese, which you can't do in 2015, and everyone just lets it slide. Insane to me.
Were you speaking real Japanese? No,
I mean, you can't do that, right? I don't know.
You and I can't. You and I get canceled out of existence for doing racist bullshit like that. But Josh Gad, he's beloved. He's a snowman.
I don't like him.
He was in that really horrible play by the South Park guys. Oh, Jesus, woof.
Oh, the Book of Mormon. Woof. I never saw it. Heard good things.
Not from me.
Not from me, you didn't.
We went to it. We walked out, and everyone's like, "That was the greatest thing ever." I'm like, "That pile of crap? Oh my god, it was terrible."
Now I want to see it even more. Let's hate watch some theater shows together, Dan.
That's where we're gonna go. We're gonna Dan and Tony do Broadway. We go to Broadway and we just commentate during the thing. Where they're taking notes. People are sitting there, so it's like, "Look, this Broadway. You paid $700 for these tickets." There's a really good documentary about the Spider-Man musical and how big a failure it was. Worth watching. Such a good. Right. Oh man, so worth watching.
It's so sad to me.
So the creator of Pac-Man gets out. So they're getting ready to do it. Here comes Pac-Man. They're in the cars.
Wait, Dan. I interrupted you when you were talking about her leaning in the car. I want to hear your opinion on it because
it's so
my
terrible.
Wife hated it. She hated it, and I was like, "Oh, I was kind of into it."
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're a dude and she's leaning into your car and you're like, "Oh yeah, I know what's happening after I beat the game.
I'm about to save the world, baby.
I'm saving the world, and she is mine. She's my trophy." But I still do not. I just don't buy it. He's not charming at all. He doesn't have. I don't know. Whatever.
He's saving the world, Dan. Yeah. That's pretty good.
And he's
on
still
a scale of
her.
1 to 10, saving the world's got to be at least a 9, right?
Yeah, it should get you Martha Stewart in the Lincoln bedroom. What the fudge? It's disgusting. It's just weird. It's just super weird. Yeah. So the creator of Pac-Man gets out. Okay, wait a second. So they get in the cars. They roar up there. Here comes Pac-Man. Pac-Man stops and then just stands in front of him going, "Whack, whack, whack." And you're like, what the hell is this? That would never happen in a Pac-Man game. You're doing...
That's all true. Unless it's the beginning. They should have had the music that's like... or whatever that is.
Wow. You know what that would have been? That would have been clever.
But Dan, the scene follows,
if during the break screen that starts,
exactly, yeah, no,
yeah,
I totally
sure.
agree. But the scene that follows is pretty amazing. Can we agree on that at least?
You mean when he gets out and tries to reason? I mean, it's funny. Yeah, it's absolutely
so
funny. And
funny.
I like the premise. The premise is very funny. And, he's like, Pac-Man, you're my baby. It's...
You're a good boy.
You're a good boy. And then he bites him. And then he starts turning... Just his hand turns into...
stupid bitch or something like
funny, yes. I mean,
yeah.
And that's the whole... Yeah. The whole issue with this movie is, there are some funny things. This movie is not a total wash. It absolutely isn't. But the way they sort of shoehorn these things in there, like here's the only way we're going to get Adam Sandler to be able to do this is if we make Kevin James the president. You're like, no, that is not choices. The only way to do it.
I mean, who wrote this movie? That's my question. Is this an Adam Sandler joint?
No, it's two guys, one of who didn't have a Wikipedia page, and I looked at the other stuff the guy wrote, and I don't remember what it was. Okay. But here's the Dan Goodsell pitch. They demand these guys. They demand the people that won these games.
Yeah. I mean, it's the classic, like, oh, he's the best of the best. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they would look for, is people that could play these games.
Yes.
And you would find the best people.
Well, because they got the videotape in the mail.
Exactly.
So they're like, these are Earth's champions, and their champions should be just from whoever entered that thing. And so you have this pool of like 20 people that entered the thing, and then we make a bunch of jokes. We go and meet some of these people, and some of them are housewives, and other ones are house painters, and we go find Fire Blaster. Fire Blaster's in jail. That's how we set up the whole team, and that's how we end up with the team. And then in each one, we have to use the different things. Oh, we only have Pac-Man. It's got to either be you or you, and then we go with Fire Blaster because he won Pac-Man and he knows it better. And then Fire Blaster cheats, and so boom, 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 boom.
Oh boy, let's get to that real quick.
I don't want to get to that. So then,
but you're absolutely right, Dan. That's the way you would make this movie. Yes,
it's how you would make this movie. It's on the page. Oh, sorry. So they start doing it. Part of it. So the first one is, does Josh Gad get the first one? Fire Blaster has a plan, and I don't know what happens. They're going around the city and blah blah blah. It all happens.
Yeah, and there's suddenly stunt drivers. I feel like in this situation, wouldn't you just have them in the car with someone that could drive, perhaps? Maybe like that. It just doesn't make. They're like flying around corners, and they're drifting. These guys don't know how to drift. I don't even know how to drift. I mean, of course I don't know how to drift. I can't drive a car for shit. But like, I didn't buy it. I was totally taken out of it, which was a bummer because up until now I'm totally into the movie.
And it looked good, and it's just a novel concept that you've crushed into this movie because you thought of this novel concept of having Mini Coopers painted pink, blue, other color, another color. And then they win Qbert. They get Qbert. Qbert shows up.
Well, let's talk about the blip on the map when he cheats a little bit.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we don't really know, but they're like, he blips somewhere else on the map, essentially, right?
Well, he has super speed. He engages super speed and was able to get to an area he should not have been able to get to as quickly as he gets to, and is able.
Like, how did you do that?
But I mean, it is a passing line. It registered with me, but I didn't go like, oh, we're gonna think about this more later. I was just like, I don't know what they're saying. It's like the QRF. When you have throwaway lines already through the movie, you just are like,
for sure.
Yes.
But my question is, Dan.
Yes.
How did
he cheat code?
Uh-huh.
I would have to do the research, and I meant to do this research before we started this. And I do believe that with these machines, if I'm a Pac-Man and I know the cheat codes, I go up, 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 left, player one, player two, this, that, boom, boom. It's like a series of
That's
code.
all true. Yep.
And then it will engage a certain thing a different way of playing. I mean, I'm not sure.
Which is 100% accurate.
Is that how it works?
Where do you do that? Yes, that's how it works. And like the famous Konami code is like the one that everybody probably knows, and that was it doesn't matter.
But you engage. I can go, and if this is a normal machine, and I do this series of things, I can unlock something.
Yes, essentially yes. But it's during the load up screen generally is when you put it in.
Typically, yeah.
So
how does he do that?
How do you even input how would you? It doesn't make any sense, Dan. How would he manipulate the game when he's in the car? What is he doing?
And more importantly, we find out that he's been doing this. He did this to win in 1982. We're jumping ahead a little.
We'll talk about that, Dan. We will talk about that.
We'll talk about it later. So, yes. So they win. They get Kubert. Presidential press conference, and then the little kid is there at like this party or something, is there to explain to him that it's not about the patterns, it's about caring. Oh, they're playing like a shoot 'em up game.
Yeah, look, they're playing like Call of Duty or some shit probably. I didn't pay much attention.
What he pitches is it's not about the patterns, it's about trusting, it's about survival.
It's about putting yourself in that person's shoes and wanting to live.
Okay.
Stupid.
And then the kid says, you should ask mom to the ball. Because, of course, we're having a ball in the midst of all of this.
Where did this come from? I don't even remember. That's the first time I remember it being mentioned that they were having a dance.
Well, it is. Yeah.
Oh, it is?
When they first mentioned it.
That's how we find out they're planning a soiree? So dumb.
Yeah,
oh my
tuxedo
God.
Ball.
A tuxedo ball. Is that what they're called?
I don't know. That's what I
don't know either. I don't get invited to fancy places. So
we don't need to prepare more for the end of the world.
Right?
That's not a thing. We need to all dress up and have a party.
And we're like celebrating middle victories. I don't understand why we're doing it. The game is not over.
We're celebrating middle victories. Yes. Right in the middle of WW Raw, they're going to have a tuxedo party. Everyone's going to come out. They're going to look at the belts that they've won and think about what belts they want to win.
Pop some champagne, maybe. It's going to be great. Stupid.
So she says yes to going to the ball with him.
Of course.
Because he's abused her into nothing.
That's right. He broke her down, baby.
So Fire Blaster shows up with Serena Williams, who's been promised an island, which was one of the bargaining jokes at the beginning, to go with Fire Blaster.
So she's... I don't know. I have issues with that, but whatever. It's a joke.
So, and of course, lo and behold, here we go again. She brought her kid with her to the ball.
Obviously, she doesn't know any babysitters, Dan. All right,
she can't afford one.
She's doing her best. That's right. On military. That army salary,
she makes it. She does say a line. You're right. They do throw the line in there. I couldn't find anyone at this late date. No. That was earlier. Maybe she doesn't have a line. I think she does have a stupid line.
She does. I'm telling you, she said it earlier when he's at the army base earlier. She's like, I couldn't find a sitter.
She did say that earlier, but I'm sure she says some other stupid line that some stupid writer has written so that we could have this kid because he has. So she walks up to Adam Sandler and goes and smells him.
Well, his breath specifically because he didn't brush his teeth. It's gross. The whole thing is really gross.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah.
Now we get the thing that I hated the most in this movie. And there's a lot of things I don't like in this movie. Josh Gad singing Tears for Fears.
Oh.
He sounds terrible.
And isn't that his thing? Singing?
He's a singer.
That's his thing,
He's
right?
a singer.
Yeah, it's not good.
It sounds thin and terrible and embarrassing.
Yep. And then, so what it reminds me of is are they the Dan Man Band, the Dan Band, the Dan, something like that. They did like those Will Ferrell movies where like old school when he's singing. You know what? I don't remember the song, but they're rude versions of classic songs. That's what this band does. And they drop like an F-bomb in the middle of a scene, and Will Ferrell's like, did you hear that? It doesn't matter. But that's what it reminds me of, is like he's doing this he's supposed to be like this cool rock. This is like his moment to rock out. And then he kind of humps the floor a little bit or something. And it's all bad. It's all bad. Just like everything else he does in this movie, it's terrible.
So we have talked about the Pilates girl. Fire Blaster has to explode. Oh, did the kid figure out that Fire Blaster did something? I don't know. Oh, the kid gets the glasses or something?
Yeah, he finds the glasses apparently someone found them in the bay when he drove into the water during Pac-Man, and then for some reason gave them to the kid, I guess, because that's what you would do with the glasses. So then the kid knows that there's cheat codes written on them. And they sing... turn around every now and then I get that's the song they sing in Old School. He's like, and I see the fucking look in your eyes.
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified. I see the fucking look in your eyes.
Wow, you saved your bit, Tony. Thank you.
I know.
Saved your bit.
Whew, they was close to bombing, and now we've totally saved ourselves.
So her and Adam Sandler are out there doing their thing, falling in love, and he's bringing up Cinnamon some more.
A bunch,
and then
yeah.
We do the Mississippi Institute of Technology again, and then we break in.
I don't even remember hitting that again, but yeah.
We break in, and then they say, "You arcaders cheated, so you lose." That's it. Just you lose. Whatever.
Yep.
Oh,
Your
man,
planet's ours.
There's so much terrible thing. Oh, so then Fire Blaster did something, so he takes off, though the kid gets the glasses, so he figures it out. And then the bad guys steal the kid.
Before he can tell anyone. Yeah.
Oh, is it before he could tell anyone? Wow.
Yeah, because he figures out, and then all of a sudden he's pixelated. Pixel dust, baby!
So... Okay, so now we're at the end. The alien spaceship is coming down. They won't let Kevin James do anything to give his buddy weapons because he's the president or something. Doesn't make any sense. So he steals the weapons. We do the claw machine, and now it's just the big final battle. Where we're at the battle all the bad guys. So the ship is just spewing out pixel things, which are going to this one ship's going to somehow destroy the whole world with these pixel things, which seems like a lot of energy and a lot of time. For these things to get to California, for them to get to Soviet Union, it's going to take so much time.
It's going to take some time. It's not like Independence Day where they've lined up a ship over each of the major places on Earth. It's just one ship.
One ship.
That's all you need.
So somehow Bridget Moynihan's character is now one of the arcaders, and she has a suit, and she's got a gun.
They do set that up. I don't know if you remember, but during Centipede, they were shooting, the army dudes were shooting, and she was like, Sergeant, 12 o'clock, because she could read the patterns. Okay. So they set that up deftly. Right?
So that's the word. We start doing that, and then Josh... Wait, girl just kills. Okay, so Josh Gad starts to fight his. So Max Headroom shows up. That was fun.
Yep, that was.
And then Josh Gad goes out there to fight them just randomly because the three of them are going up there, but Josh Gad's gonna save the world by himself.
Yeah, he needs to defend the people. Yeah. Someone needs to stay behind, defend the people.
One guy with one light cannon's gonna whatever. So stupid. So he meets the girl that he's obsessed with, lovely Lisa or something really stupid.
Something Lisa. I can't remember her name. Yeah.
So she comes down as pixelated, and then she turns into a real girl.
Yeah, she unpixelates. Nobody else, none of the other creatures have that ability. Ever.
Yeah.
What?
But more importantly, she unpixelates and then just falls in love with him.
Immediately he's like,
based on nothing.
I've loved you forever. And she's like, oh. Okay, I love you too.
I'll fight with you.
What the fuck is happening? I blame Josh Gad. Everything in this movie with Josh Gad is terrible.
So they kiss, and then Fire Blaster comes back, and he's like, did you miss Fire Blaster because he's back? And you're like, what?
No.
Why is Fire Blaster back?
No, I didn't miss you at all, if I'm being honest.
And more importantly, if you're going to make Fire Blaster redeem himself, make him appear up on the ship to do something.
No, he just comes back.
He just comes back.
You know what I mean? Like, that's enough. That's the bare minimum, Dan. The bare minimum you could do is just show up.
Oh,
that's
Jesus.
it. That's
Oh God, there's still things that happen. So we get up on the ship. They're given a second chance for unknowable reasons.
correct. Yeah.
And they've got to they got to beat Donkey Kong, right?
Yep. Throwback to the beginning of the movie. Great stuff. This is good writing. Good writing.
So Cubert's there. Cubert gets hit, and they're all going up. And then this is the point at which they realize that what's his name did the cheat. Oh, the kid tells him the cheat codes. He's like, "Hey, those cheat codes. So just be yourself and really care, and that's all you need." Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, if he cheated, that means I'm the greatest in the world." Stupid.
Okay. So, well, there's a meta point that's makes this even stupider. He now takes sort of the kid's idea of how to do things, right?
Yeah. As opposed to what made him the de facto champion back in the day.
So he should do the champion thing, right?
He should, yeah. Yeah, he
Which
should.
is
He doesn't.
The patterns.
Yes, correct. But he doesn't do that. Don't worry about that, Dan. Also, let's talk about the fact that Kevin James is suddenly jumping over 4-foot barrels. Come on, guys.
What about when Bridget Moynihan does like this super magic
like,
cartwheel off the thing that do? You just
that I totally buy. Totally buy it. She's great.
So she does that to save Cubert, and then he just grabs the hammer and just throws it at Donkey Kong and wins.
Which, by the way, not how you beat Donkey Kong. So that's bullshit.
So Mom saves her son. Lady Lisa turns into pixels. They beam everyone to DC. And then Cubert turns into Lady Lisa.
Which, thank God they put in the line that's like, does anybody else think that's weird? She was just picked. Like, it's good that they put in the line because it's so weird.
Josh Gad's character for the rest of his life is having sex with Cubert.
Who's in disguise. It's not like... Because then the kids are Cuberts. You know what I mean? So it's not like Cubert, it can change like its basic DNA makeup. It just changes an outward appearance. So really, it's still Cubert. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
And I'm going to bring up a great movie that handles a similar concept in one of the most interesting ways ever, and that is Galaxy Quest. The aliens look like human beings, but they look like horrible aliens. And then what's-his-name falls in love with them, and then he sees beyond that. And
that's right.
They have set this character up being so weird. Tony Shalhoub's character, he's so weird that you buy it.
Totally buy it 100%.
Yeah. You don't go, okay, this is freaking me out. He's gonna be living with this alien and gonna. A normal person that's going to weigh heavily on their mind at all times. But Tony Shalhoub's character is so weird in that movie. Yeah. You instantaneously buy it. And that's the whole thing is, with these characters, they've never built characters.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, none of them are characters. Like, at best, they're caricatures.
And then at the end... He says, nerds are the greatest kissers, and she says, I'll be the judge of that.
And then it's a really lackluster kiss. Like, several times throughout the movie, he said that line about nerds kissing better. And then when it's finally time to show up, Adam Sandler's like, okay, we're done. So dumb. This has got to be like a magical kiss at this point. He's got to knock all of our socks off, not just hers, but like at home, we got to be like, oh shit, that is a good kiss. Because that's how we prove to women that nerds are great kissers, right? Now it's just words on a page. Nobody believes it. Nerds are never going to kiss again. Thanks, Adam Sandler.
Jerk. So now what were you gonna say? Were you gonna say something else about cheat codes?
Well, two things I would like to say. One, I do not believe that Donkey Kong has cheat codes. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist in real life.
Well, they didn't use cheat codes on Donkey Kong, though.
But he did in the beginning.
You mean,
that's the whole
thing. You mean in the real... Oh, yeah, at the very beginning.
In the arcade. Yeah, that's what they're saying is like he cheated on there. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that exists.
And that's what's so funny about the... Yeah, whatever.
And then the second part of that is if you do that in a competition, you would automatically be disqualified. Like, no, you're not going to be sitting here pushing buttons up, down, left, right, B, A, start. Like, they're going to see that. They're going to know you're cheating. It's so dumb. So dumb. Those are my only two things I wanted to say.
Yeah, they set it up that he was psyching him out, and he doesn't even, it's like, just make him psych him out.
Yeah, it has to be about mind games because the other thing doesn't make sense.
So this movie was dumb. Tony loved it because he loves Adam Sandler and he thinks he's a great kisser because Tony is sad.
No, don't twist my words. He's not a great kisser. He fucked that up big time.
Good day, neighbor. Oh, look at my terrible hair.
That's why we're both wearing hats.
Well, Shannon fixed my hair before this, and it looked good. And then I put this hat on it.
And then you put on the hat and ruined everything.
Terrible.
Damn, you ruined it. You ruined it. And then the last thing. Are we done with this movie? Because I have one more thing.
You can do last things. I'm done with it. Yeah.
The last thing is
this was going to be a
song.
This was going to be a short one, and of course, it's not a short one.
They're never short, Dan. We have a lot to say.
Credit song.
The end credit song is so bad. It's a terrible song. It's not catchy. It's not fun. It's not good at all. Who spent money on that?
Because they had like the great Cheap Trick song. I mean, I like Tears for Fears. If they'd have just used Tears for Fears there, it would have been 100%. Great. And there were like 2 or 3 other songs that were pretty good in this movie.
No, but it's just like this really just a terrible song. I have no idea who made that choice, but they should be fired. That's all.
Okay. So, Tony, tell us something you liked this week.
Well, this is it's a part 2 to something I mentioned before. If you remember back when we were doing Wing Commander, I said that Punky Brewster was going to come out this week, which it did. And Freddie Prinze plays the ex-husband in it. And he is delightful, Dan. He's so charming and so funny. He's not in the show nearly enough. And the show is not that great. It's fine. It's like a fine family cheesy sitcom. But when he's on screen, it brings it to another level. Check it out, you guys. Please watch and support.
What channel is that on?
That is on Peacock.
Oh, so I don't have
Let
to
me
watch.
See you, Peacock.
Excellent.
Get Peacock.
I'm going back to WandaVision. I think we already did WandaVision, but
I think we did it the first week that it came out.
Yeah. Well, we're on the. I think we just have one more to go.
Penultimate, is that what they say?
Penultimate. Oh man.
Yeah, penultimate. Yeah.
So
I haven't watched yesterday's yet. I'm excited.
Man, it's just great.
God, it's a phenomenal show. I love it.
But you watched the one. You watched the one with Agatha Harkness.
Yes.
That song when they do her song to the monsters.
So good.
I'm just like, okay, this show is just. I don't know how this is making the fans happy because this show is just so interesting.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, this new episode is just really emotional. Like,
oh shit.
I don't know. You be ready for emotions.
I don't like emotions. We just this past week because we're doing our rewatch. We just hit Endgame.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that movie makes me cry.
There's a lot of rough stuff.
I'm over here just like waterfalls. I'm like, it's bad stuff. Tony Stark.
WandaVision is WandaVision gets into it.
All right.
So now we're gonna do a month of whatever the hell we want. So Tony's got free reign. We can go watch Birth of a Nation, one of the first real films. Watch some good silent films. Maybe you'll do some Buster Keaton, or you can go into the 50s. We can go all film noir.
No.
Or we can go into the excesses of 2010. Or we can get the crappy movies that they're giving us for free. on we can watch King Kong versus Godzilla, which
I do.
Are we gonna get that one for free? Are we gonna get that one for free?
Well, it's on HBO Max, right?
Yeah,
so if you've got HBO
free.
Max, yeah, you get it.
King Kong has a big King Kong axe.
I haven't even watched the trailer for this thing.
Oh yeah, well that's how they're gonna sort of equal it up. Is King Kong? This is like a battle for the ages, like for thousands of years.
God.
And so he's gonna have to go get an axe because Godzilla has the fire breath and
right. So the axe is totally gonna fix that.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be all those ones have been bad.
I love it.
This one's gonna be terrible.
Okay, so you almost nailed it on the head, but since we get free reign,
we're doing a
movie. Yeah, back to the beginning. We're going back to a movie that I've wanted to do for a while, and it stars Channing Tatum, who I have a wonderful man crush on.
Magic Mike.
No, not Magic Mike, because that movie is probably pretty good. I never saw it either.
Never saw it
but
either.
A movie that I also never saw that I really wanted to see was Jupiter Ascending. So that's the movie that we're going to do.
I have seen Jupiter Ascending.
You've seen it?
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
And it's good?
Is it good? I will call it a lovable train wreck. That's how
fun.
I would describe it.
That's what I was hoping for.
There is nearly an infinite amount of things to complain about with it because it's just there are. Oh well, then I know exactly what movie we're doing after. Oh yeah, I know exactly what movie we're doing. Oh my God,
is it Magic Mike? Then should we have a Channing Tatum month?
We're definitely gonna do Magic Mike at some point since both of us have never seen it. We have to do it now. I have the feeling we're gonna like Magic Mike. Actually, I think it's gonna be kind of fun.
I think I will enjoy it.
And then we could do Coyote Ugly right after it.
A movie that I adore. I love that movie.
I've seen it too, so we probably won't do Coyote Ugly. So we're gonna go to Jupiter because it's what's her name? Yeah, it's that one, right?
Mia Kunis, right?
And then yeah. Oh wow, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, you're in for a treat. It is.
I think so.
Packed with weird. It's just packed. This movie is just like all this weird stuff, but then they do all these things that are really dumb and bad and convenient. Oh, yeah.
Sure. It's okay. That sounds great. I'm and it's by the Wachowskis, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. I'm excited.
Then we can do Speed Racer too. It was beautiful. Speed Racer.
I never saw it. I'll be honest with you.
Terrible movie, beautiful movie.
That's what I assume. I'm okay with that.
So this has been Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. If you like what you see, feel free to comment or leave a thumbs up, or try to set your bot to send it to all your friends so that they have to watch it. If you have animals, make them watch it. Whoever you get to watch this show. We're huge
with the cats. Cats love us. So
cat population, very happy with our show.
Big fans.
And we'll probably see you next time.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey,